And now, live in studio, cutting through your typical media nonsense and offering you a rational and unbiased perspective on current events and life in Tampa Bay. He's a successful entrepreneur, published author, top listing agent, a real estate and finance expert that goes to bat for you every day as a consumer advocate. Your host and the consumer quarterback, Brandon Rhymes.
Yes, welcome to the Consumer Quarterback Show, powered by the Platinum MVP team at Keller Realty, helping you win in any marketplace. That's our goal. And when we say, winning in any marketplace, we're talking about 80 different categories of consumer advocate content and advice right here on the Consumer Quarterback Show. So we want you to think about this show as the hub of your financial, your business, your health, your recreation wheel, all those spokes extending out, representing another one of our areas that we can help you as a consumer advocate, making you more street smart here on the Consumer Quarterback Show, helping you avoid a lot of the commission-based advice and, even some of the scams that are out there. We're going to talk about robocalls on today's show and how this company in Florida here got busted for that. But we got a great lineup for you today. Clyde Smith's on the line. We're going to talk with Clyde Smith coming up here. He's the general manager of Bilmar Beach Resort, the official hotel partner of the Consumer Quarterback Show. We got James DeGerome in the house as well, the backup QB. Welcome in, sir.
Thanks so much, Brandon. Great to be here. I always look forward to coming on. A lot of things about the show people don't realize that much. So we're going to talk a little bit about the show itself and then some of the cool stories that you mentioned there in the tease.
Yeah, absolutely. A lot of good things, ranging from real estate credit, finance, estate and tax planning, self-defense. We're going to talk about self-defense as well here on the Consumer Quarterback Show. And we want to let you know about a couple of our hot listings that we've got, of course, as the show is powered by the Platinum MVP team at Keller Realty. My wife and I own and operate a top real estate company here in the area, top 1% real estate group in the United States. So 6919 Makers Way in Apollo Beach. This is a gorgeous home, beautiful property in a great area as well. Apollo Beach is just a gorgeous area. $289,000 is the list price for it. 3 bedrooms, 2 bath, and it's over 2,000 square feet. Gorgeous property. I just actually love the garage door color there. It's got like a light tropical blue. Just a gorgeous property here in Tampa Bay. Open house going on Saturday and Sunday at this property. So great opportunity to get out and see some beautiful property here in Tampa Bay. And you also think about some of the benefits of being in a property where there's new construction going on. That's a battle that you find a lot of times in real estate, where you've got an existing property that's been there for a year or two. Sellers are trying to sell, but there's new construction competing. But if you look into the details of the CDD fee, what's the actual CDD fee on some of those new constructions home? Well, in this case, the new constructions homes are triple in CDD fees, 2 to 3 times more. They're also tearing down trees closer to I-75. So what happens is when these builders are demolishing those trees and clearing those forests, what's happening is the sound barrier is gone. So now that new construction wing, there's Facebook sites where people are complaining in this Apollo Beach area about those types of scenarios playing out. So the builders and developers, they build in and then they kind of expand closer to the I-75 barrier. And there's a lot of traffic now. You're knocking down those trees. So that's a big issue. And if you don't have a good buyer agent that can explain the taxes, the CDD fees, the community development district is what that means. You've got to really dive into these decisions. And also little things like a mailbox. Sometimes people take for granted. I walk outside my house, I've got a mailbox right there, and I walk back in, 30 seconds checking the mail. Some of these new construction places, they're saying, no, we're going to build one place with all the mailboxes in one place. And then you have to drive to another location to check your mail every day. It's kind of a pain in the, what? So a lot of people get into that position and they're like, hey, I don't like that. So anyways, we're going to talk more about real estate here on the Consumer Quarterback Show. And let's go to Clyde Smith. He's the general manager of the beautiful Bilmar Beach Resort on Treasure Island right here in Tampa Bay. Hey, Clyde, how you doing today, sir?
Hey, Brandon, I'm doing great. Thanks for having me back on the show again. James, hope you're doing well, too.
Thanks so much, Clyde. I'm doing great. I'm hoping to get out there soon. I know the weather's starting to pick up.
It's been really nice. We had a few cold days in January, but overall, it's been really nice. All the beaches were busy this January, and we're ramping up. Valentine's Day is kind of the kickoff to spring break, so it's right around the corner.
So great place to have either a local staycation. You said a lot of times, too, people from up north will hang out with their family from downtown or down in the Florida area. So it's so many ways that people can come and enjoy the convention center. You got convention space. You got room for beautiful beachfront weddings. Lots of things to do there.
Yeah, we do. In fact, our sales team is out today just showing some of the changes we've made to our meeting space. We're getting ready to add drop-down AV systems. That's really going to take that to the next level. We've got a lot more materials. Our chef that came from Gulfport is doing amazing things with our menus there. And it's exciting. Everywhere we did, 4 corporate meetings in the month of January, one as small as 10 people. We just had a great local charity group that's that met all week long, and all the way up to 120 people for a conference. So there's a lot of flexibility, and they sure love taking a break. Instead of going into a different ballroom for their meal, they go out to the cafe and get to watch the kites and the beautiful beach and all that instead of sitting in a meeting room.
Yeah, it's awesome. And in the past, too, we talked about standing ovations. What a cool event that is, Clyde.
That is a great event, and we just had our 13th year. Looking forward to the group coming in again. It's from 8 different countries, 10 sculptures. They create works of art. It's fantastic. They left them up this year until the first week of January, so they were up almost 6 weeks total and looked great all the way to the end. A little bit of water damage from some rain, but fortunately the people, the tourists, were gentle on them, and it's a wonderful thing. Sunday, we've got that neat drum circle that's out there. I think you've heard that, the banging the drums before. That's always
cool.
a fun thing. That's every Sunday. That's been going about 20 years now out on Treasure Island Beach. Just a group of fun characters get together, and they see the sun down, and once the sun goes down, everyone goes out and finds their place for dinner and has a good time.
Yeah, I love that. Just enjoying the beach right here in Tampa Bay. That's one of the reasons why people move to Tampa Bay, is just to be close to the waterways, close to the beaches. We've got over 40 miles of beautiful beaches here in the Tampa Bay market, and lots of things to do. And if you just joined us, we're talking with Clyde Smith, longtime friend of the Consumer Quarterback Show, and he's the general manager of the Bilmar Beach Resort. He also has Sloppy Joe's Beach Bar and Restaurant right there on site as well.
We sure do. And they roll out next week. They're rolling out 2 things new to us. This week we rolled out 7-day-a-week nightly entertainment. So it's the biggest commitment we've made since Sloppy Joe's came on board with doing entertainment every single night, just like you'd expect if you're at the Sloppy Joe's down in Key West. So that's great. And then we have our brand new menu, which includes a Bar Bites menu. That's going to be really fun. So you just want to taste a sample of one of the many things that are on the regular menu. We've got smaller portion and just shareable plates. That's going to be, I think, really is going to take it to the next level. We've gone to more bar seating out in the back just so people can sit and face the sunset, and so far that's gone over really well. The guests that have returned this year have really made note of a lot of the new changes we've made and are enjoying it.
Yeah, it's super awesome. I'm looking at one of your flyers here, post flyers. It says, as hotels on the beach go, none say 90% of the rooms overlook the beaches. Overlook the beach. Newly renovated, a variety of rooms for solo travelers, couples, and families include 55-inch high-def flat screen TV, comfy beds, and a full suite of kitchen options.
We do. We've got a lot of different room types, but again, only a dozen of them don't face the beach. And that you really don't find many other places. They usually slant back towards the side, and you can kind of get an angle view. But we're right there beachfront. 2/3 of those rooms have kitchenettes in them. So you want to make breakfast for the family or just, heat up leftovers, whatever you want. We've got the kitchen facility with all the pots, pans, dishes, and everything. And 2/3 of those also have a balcony, so you can sit on your private balcony and just really enjoy the nice sea breezes coming in and the beautiful sunsets that Treasure Island's known for.
Yeah, now at Bilmar Beach Resort, you also offer, is it free parking, free Wi-Fi, 2 heated swimming pools, hot tub, fitness center, beach area transportation, 2 restaurants on site. There's a lot to offer there.
There really is. And just even outside of all the amenities that we have here, we also have the fire pits in back, bicycle use, the kayak and paddleboard. There's so many different activities you can do. We had the candy bar over Christmas time. That's gone over really great. So then, get a little snack in the afternoon if you want, as well as the 3 o'clock cookie hour. And it goes well. But also within general walking distance here, you've got at least a dozen other restaurants, many with live entertainment. So just park your car. You can walk wherever you want. If you do want to venture out, downtown St. Petersburg is only 7 miles away. And there's just so much to do down there, from the museums to the great restaurants. And, of course, Rays are coming soon. The Rays games will be starting up in the spring. And it's just a great central location. We're easy to get to. We're not as busy as some of our northern beaches. And we just like to, toes in the sand kind of place and enjoy our big beach.
I love it. What do you think long-term wise going on with the Tampa Bay Rays? Have you seen anything or heard anything down there?
Not heard much more. There was a talk about splitting them with Montreal, which I don't even know how that would work.
Right.
And what do you do if you make it to the World Series? You split those games up too?
Right.
We're not looking for it. I love where the Rays is, and you can say what you want about Tropicana Field, but when it's raining outside, it's nice to be in that 72-degree weather. And
Yeah.
there's a lot of neat things. You have the Batters Hall of Fame there. So many good restaurants now they've added in. So
I think those Canadian
I
folks,
hope we stay in the neighborhood for
they
a while.
want to come down here and visit you guys anyway. They don't want to go to the games up there in Canada. They'd rather come down here, I'm sure, and go to the beach resort.
Exactly.
Yeah.
So,
Yeah, that'd
it's
be awesome.
good. If we build a new stadium, hopefully it'll still be accessible for all the folks in St. Petersburg that, maybe haven't supported as much as we need to, but there's plenty of us that have season tickets. I've got mine.
Yeah, and that's the challenge with this area is that a lot of people are from another area of the country. There's so much to do, so many options, as you mentioned, with outdoor activities or even awesome, the museums and the Dali Museum.
Hey, Clyde, how does the spring break thing work for you guys? I know you talk about beaches to the north and south of you. I know spring breakers come from everywhere. They're adult as well as college kids. I mean, how does it break down for you in terms of the amount of people that come down here just for spring break?
Yeah, we have more families than anything. A lot of families have been coming multi-generational. You get a few college kids. I'll be honest, a lot of the places spring break has become so busy with the families
Right.
that some of the college kids are priced out from where what
Sure.
they're able to do. So we're probably 70% families during our spring break. We still get a lot of our Canadian friends that have come back. Without softened for a little bit, but the Canadians are coming back now, so we get a lot of couples from Canada that come in, and they range anywhere from the 30s up to retirees in their 70s.
And that flow starts about mid-February, or when do you start to see that impact?
Some of our snowbirds are in now, so that's you can always tell here when their snowbirds are coming in, because our Dixieland Jazz, which is every Wednesday since 1967, plays a Dixieland Jazz on Wednesday night, and that room is full now. They don't start playing till after 6, and it's full by 5 o'clock. Some patio seating still available, but really that Valentine's Day, wherever that hits, that starts it. And the true spring season goes till about a week after Easter, which is, I believe, the 12th of April this year.
Yeah, about spring training baseball starts to kick in. You get all those folks coming in.
Exactly. We do get some travelers coming through. We've been getting a lot of cruise travelers lately, too. That's been a real pickup with the Tampa cruise market growing. They want to get their beach time in here before and after.
Very cool. I like it.
That's been fun because they're in the right frame of mind.
Yeah, exactly. That's right. All right, good stuff. So we always want to say as well, book directly. Clyde Smith, General Manager, Bilmar Beach Resort here on the Consumer Quarterback Show. How can they book directly, Clyde? What's the best way to do that?
Yeah, the best way is to go on BilmarBeachResort.com. You can sign on right there. We are running a program right now called the Guest Book. So you can sign up for that and get 10% back towards hotel stays at other guest book properties, or you can get 5% in gift card back. So already you're going to get the best price that's out there, because we always match or beat any of our the other parties that are out there, ways to book. But now you have the guest book as an option too, so you can sign in. We have thousands of people participate in that, and they earn either stays elsewhere, or you can get a whole plethora of gift cards that they'll mail right to your house. It's a really neat program for independent hotels. Gives us a little bit of an edge over some of the chain competitors.
Right.
And the guests that participate, we have one gentleman, he stays a couple of times a month, and he's racked up enough to go, he's going to go overseas with his points. So
Awesome.
he's enjoying the program a lot. Or you can always call us. You can call us right here at the Bilmar, and by doing that, we can walk you through all those different options and make sure we find exactly what the best stay for you. Our local number is 727-360-5531, or you can always call toll-free at 866-455-3953. And that'll get you direct to a live person here at the Bilmar, and no one knows the property better than my guest service staff. So they'll make sure whatever you're looking to accomplish on your trip here, be it just a short staycation or if it's your full family vacation, come on over and we'll make sure we give you a good time.
Excellent, excellent. Clyde Smith, again, call 866-453-3953. That's your toll-free number, 866-453-3953. And you can also book on the website as well, BilmarBeachResort.com. Clyde Smith, always a pleasure, my friend.
Thank you, Brandon. Y'all have a great week, and we'll talk to you soon.
Take
All right,
care.
thanks,
You
Clyde.
as well.
All right.
When we come back, more from our expert contributors here in studio. We got James DeGerome. He's the show producer here on the Consumer Quarterback Show as well. And we have our feel-good story of the day, local feel-good story coming out of Bradenton. Motorworks Brewing in Bradenton. It says a woman is reunited with her lost dog after seeing her on a beer can. Find out about that and more from our experts here on the Consumer Quarterback Show, consumerqb.com.
Thanks for listening to my daddy's show. For more information, go to consumerqb.com.
To get in touch with Brandon, call 813-670-7372. Online at consumerqb.com.
Welcome to 2020.
All right, this week we're going to talk about something exciting as usual.
We always have something exciting.
Yes, we do.
At least it's exciting to us.
But this is a question that comes up.
TV, hey, it's Friday night. We're not here. Yes, we pre-recorded once again because WeBeam TV is working over in Tampa with Dancing with the Stars.
The 62 Who Knew. I almost said Professional Mortgage Alliance Joe's Bar and Grill, but actually it's our 39th week. 62 Who Knew.
We're at the wonderful steampunk event at the Verizon Event Center here in 2019. I think it's still August, right? Yeah. Woo! Can't remember now. Ask me about
Yes.
to be able to help businesses to do that part of it. But it's just been a couple of years.
Well, and I've taken the business card files from our business cards from today.
Entrepreneurs and professionals of Tampa Bay, welcome to your hour for getting the information, the tools, and the connections for
Backles on Radio Influence.
Or you say left hand white, and then they catch the left hand white. What it does, it helps you quick with hand-eye coordination. Yeah.
Well, that's kind
As your super connector, we want to introduce you to our 50-plus show partners. We got over 80 categories of expert contributor advice here on the Consumer Quarterback Show, and we want to.
That's where we disagree, but that's okay.
I said nonviolent.
That's okay.
Because, we're one of the only states that don't give them back the right. Got Jamie Limbaugh. He is from the Next Step image. I love that image because you were telling me earlier.
For the type of republic we actually are is actually very correct. Yet politicians and regular people use these words interchangeably, even though technically they are very different.
If you're an overdoer, overachiever, people pleaser, we tend to neglect ourselves. And even as Sisters Connected here, with Women Unscripted, I know.
You're listening to The Consumer Quarterback, Brandon Rhymes, online at consumerqb.com. Brandon is Tampa Bay's #1 consumer advocate for real estate and financial advice. Call Brandon today at 813-670-7372.
And we're back. Brandon Rhymes here, your host of the Consumer Quarterback Show, powered by the Platinum MVP team at Keller Williams Realty. We want to help you win in your real estate deals, buying, selling, or investing. Give us a call, 813-670-7372. You can call or text directly at 813-670-7372. And check out our website, consumerqb.com. You can see a plethora of information on our website at consumerqb.com. All of our radio contact information, our show expert contributors are on the website as well. So again, 80 different categories of consumer advocate content and advice here on the Consumer Quarterback Show. This segment is brought to you by Golf Cart Depot. Check them out online, golfcartdepot.com. New and used golf carts, huge inventory selection, Easy Go, Star, City Car, and lots of other types as well. Come on in and give them a test drive. Talk to Marty over in the Land O'Lakes location, or Clearwater, right off of US 19 in Clearwater as well. Land O'Lakes or Clearwater. Golf Cart Depot, personal use or commercial use. And I love getting out there, going door knocking with my beautiful Keller Williams red golf cart that we got hooked up with there. Beautiful properties here as well in Tampa Bay. Check out our website, platinummvpteam.com, and we'll talk about a couple of hot listings that we've got here in the Bay Area. 216 North Spring Boulevard in Tarpon Springs. So we had the mayor of Tarpon Springs on the show a couple months ago, and he said, yeah, I remember that property being built. That's a beautiful property, large backyard. You got room for a pool. You got the walkability as well, downtown Tarpon Springs, the ability to walk over to the waterfront, the restaurants, and check out, the best that Tarpon Springs has to offer. Also, another beautiful beach property, just reduced again, 861 Mandalay Avenue on Clearwater Beach. Now, this property, it's a 2-bedroom, 2-bath. There's a 3rd bedroom in the back as well. We can't technically count it per MLS rules. But it's got outdoor shower, a huge patio area in the middle as well. Great for entertaining and having those outdoor parties. Got a full kitchen outside as well. 861 Mandalay Avenue, Clearwater Beach, 200 steps from the sugar sand beaches and dolphin-filled waters of Clearwater Beach, right here in beautiful Tampa Bay. And what we want to do also as your local real estate economist of choice here in Tampa Bay, we're talking about the current market conditions in Hillsborough County. So what we've got, I'm going to give you a quick update here as of the last data point, which ends in December of 2019. What we had is at the end of December 2019, 5,132 properties that were active listings, residential listings at the end of the year. Now, out of those 5,132 that were listed, 2,243 sold. So dividing those two numbers, that gives you a 43.7% absorption rate. So that means essentially how quickly the properties are being sold. What's the absorption rate? What's the appetite from the buyer side of the transaction? And if you divide that by 100, that equals 2.29 months supply. So that's a strong seller's market. It's a great opportunity now, especially for move-up buyers, meaning if you're selling a property in that $150,000 to $200,000 price range where there's a tremendous amount of demand, and let's say you're moving up, you got a new job, you got your degree, you got a better pay plan now, self-employed, your business just started booming, and let's say you're moving up from that $150,000 home and you're buying into the $400,000-$500,000 range. Now what you're doing is you're moving up into an area where there's less competition. So it's a great time right now for move-up buyers. So hopefully that makes sense for you. There's more demand at the lower price points than there are closer to get to $500,000 and above. So that's going to help you in terms of your move up buyers. So that's your local real estate market update for Hillsborough County in Tampa Bay here. And I'm your host, Brandon Rhymes, the Consumer Quarterback Show. We got James DeGerome as well in studio, our show producer.
Yes, sir. On board today, we're going to talk some interesting consumer advocacy points. We talk a lot in the program all the time about helping the consumer, and we do. We got so many different folks out there that are contributing information and knowledge that we're trying to pass on to you. We got some specific examples of fraud and some things out there that you need to be aware of. And we all say all the time, hey, beware. We're immune to that, or we know the difference between a real phone call and a fake phone call, or we're sure when we get we're being solicited illegally. It's not that easy anymore as these scams become more sophisticated and the technology allows these folks to get personal information from you. It's quite easy for them to craft a message or some kind of call that can feel exactly like a legitimate call.
Absolutely. And you don't really know. Then a lot of times it's just annoying. You're running to the phone because if you're in the industry that I am, it's just, people want to know right away, is that house for sale? What's the price on it? What about that vacant land I saw? So then you make an effort to get to the phone.
Right. You can't afford to miss calls.
Yeah. You pick up the phone. It's like, and you can tell immediately a lot of times, because there's a little bit of a delay and then it's like click and you can hear the person went over to the click to the pickup. Right. And then you hear all that chatter in the background. I'm like, oh, that's a robocall. I know right away.
Now you think about that's coming from some kind of giant call center. These guys have thousands of people hitting all random numbers looking for some way to get in. But there's also guys that are targeting you specifically.
Yeah.
So there's a broad range of phishing going on out there. We got some specific examples, but I'm sure everyone out there has had their phone ring, like Brandon said, and this is not for me. This is just somebody trying to hit me up for information. Well, in the meantime, while you're discussing whether you want to get off the call list, they're getting information from you in just that short amount of time. They're getting, this is really your number. So now they know the fact that you have your number associated with this voice. And while you're asking them to remove yourself from the call list, they're finding out other information about you, like where the call is emanating from, how long you're on the phone, maybe your gender, opening you up for potentially more sales and more calls.
Yeah, absolutely. So here's one. Let's jump right into it.
Yeah.
So defendants who help blast, and this is from the FTC, the Federal Trade Commission, FTC.gov, defendants who help blast consumers with millions of cruise line robocalls settle FTC complaint. So 3 individuals had a telephone call center in Florida. So it's a Florida-based company. So that's step one where they went wrong.
Right.
Because a lot of these companies are based in Panama or some other Costa Rica type
now,
country.
I've gotten this cruise one myself multiple times. I'm sure everyone out there has had one of these. You've qualified for a great deal.
Yeah.
So now they've got you listening because they want to give you a free cruise.
Yeah, exactly. And you pay this, and then you pay the tax fees and all that. So this Grand Bahamas Cruise Lines LLC, GBCL, and others to make millions of illegal robocalls to consumers settled a Federal Trade Commission complaint and are permanently barred from making telemarketing robocalls. So it's a massive operation. 6 other defendants who have not agreed to settle. The case shows that they made a sustained effort to tackle illegal robocall operations, bombarding consumers with unsolicited calls. And by the way, it goes on to say they didn't scrub it against the do not call list either.
And it's 2020 now. This investigation started in 2014. So you can see how long it takes to actually pin these guys down and say, hey, what you're doing is illegal, and you're not allowed to do this.
Absolutely. So great story. You know, they got caught. They come in and they get judgments more than $7.8 million against them, which they probably can't pay anyways.
Right.
But
just a tease. We got a few more things that are related to that.
Absolutely. So stay with us right here on the Consumer Quarterback Show. When we come back, our feel good story plus more about these robocalls and how you can be protected. ConsumerQB.com.
Hey, I'm Ken Shamrock, and you're here with Consumer Quarterback Show. And I say, Brandon Rhymes, knock out your competition.
To get in touch with Brandon, call 813-670-7372. Online at ConsumerQB.com.
All right, this week we're going to talk about something exciting as usual.
We always have something exciting.
Yes, we do.
At least it's exciting to us.
But this is a question that comes up.
TV, hey, it is Friday night. We're not here. Yes, we pre-recorded once again because WeBeam TV is working over in Tampa with D'Angelo Star.
62, who knew? I almost said Professional Mortgage Alliance, Joe's Bar and Grill. But actually, it's our 39th week. 62, who knew?
We're at the wonderful steampunk event at the Verizon Event Center here in 2019. I think it's still August, right? Yeah. Woo! Can't remember anymore. Ask Anthony about Florida.
Yes. To be able to help businesses to do that part of it. But it's just been a couple of years.
Well, and I've taken the business card files from our business cards and made
Entrepreneurs and professionals of Tampa Bay. Welcome to your hour for getting the information, the tools, and the connections
Ian
for
Beckles on Radio Influence.
Or you say left-hand white, and then they catch the left-hand white. What it does, it helps you quick with hand-eye coordination. Yeah.
Well, that's kind
as your super connector. We want to introduce you to our 50+ show partners. We got over 80 categories of expert contributor advice here on the Consumer Quarterback Show, and we want to
That's where we disagree, but that's okay.
I said nonviolent.
That's okay.
Because, you know, we're one of the only states that don't give them back the right. Got Jamie Limbaugh. He is from the Next Step Image. I love that name because you were telling me earlier.
For the type of republic we actually are is actually very correct. Yet politicians and regular people use these words interchangeably, even though technically they are very different.
If you're an overdoer, overachiever, people pleaser, we tend to neglect ourselves. And even as Sisters Connected here, with Women Unscripted, I know
You're listening to the consumer quarterback, Brandon Rhymes, cutting through your typical media nonsense and offering you a rational and unbiased perspective on current events and life in Tampa Bay. Online at consumerqb.com.
All right, welcome back. Thanks for sticking with us. Brandon Rhymes here. I'm your host of the Consumer Quarterback Show. James DeGerome, show producer in the house as well. He's also filled in as guest or host for the show, backup quarterback host for the show as well in the past.
Sure.
Did a great job with that as well. This segment is brought to you by Taps Restaurant, the official restaurant partner of the Consumer Quarterback Show is Taps Restaurant over at the International Plaza on Bay Street. I love going and having lunch over there. Excellent food, very friendly staff, wonderful ambiance as well right there at the International Plaza Mall. They've got a charming exterior, interior as well, and a patio on the outside, so you can bring your furry friends. Dogs are welcome at Taps Restaurant Bar and Grill.
Man, I love that
here
place
in Tampa Bay. Excellent food, right?
I don't think of myself as a salad guy, but man, the salads over there are so good. I actually crave salad.
Yeah, it's good, man. The
think you
seafood, I get that Mexican bowl as well.
Oh, yeah.
That's so good with the guacamole, beans, corn, some jalapenos in there, heated up a little bit,
Yeah,
throw
I
some
look forward
steak
to it
on
over
it.
there. Taps does a great job.
Taps Restaurant, the official restaurant partner of the Consumer Quarterback Show. Now, make sure you let them know the Real Estate Quarterback sent you. Take them up on special offers and incentives. They're going to hook you up one way or another.
Now, we got something coming up over there.
Wednesday, March 25th, we've got Tampa Bay's best speed networking event. Tickets are available on Eventbrite. $15 gets you in the door with a drink and an appetizer and an opportunity to meet a lot of our expert contributors from the radio show that you've heard here on 4 o'clock drive time, AM 860 The Answer, weekend show on FM 102.5 The Bone, 6:30 to 8:30 p.m. on Wednesday, March 25th. So save that date.
Oh, yeah.
You got plenty of time to book that date in there and come on out and meet a lot of our expert contributors. And a speed networking is pretty cool. People don't realize when you come to a speed networking event like this, you're going to get to meet a lot of people that can help you grow your business.
Yeah, a little different concept. It's similar in networking, of course. Everyone out there knows about networking. Just the idea that it's going to be kind of a rapid fire situation where you're going to get a lot of attention.
Yeah, absolutely. And I think back too over the years as far as how networking's affected my life and my business. Like even getting hooked up with Ken Shamrock through people say, "Well, how'd you get a business with Ken Shamrock, the fighter, the UFC Hall of Famer, the WWF?" Well, that was like an online networking type of deal.
Sure. It's amazing how networking itself has become a term. Before it was just, the way you worked it, or someone had a lot of connections, or there was a guy, and all of a sudden it's become a skill.
Right.
And then something you can grow and work on, and it certainly has value.
Yeah, absolutely. So as you know, the show is sponsored by the Platinum MVP team, Keller Williams Realty. Got a couple of hot listings. Now, this one is an interesting opportunity. This is 4214 Peaceful Lane in Land O'Lakes. Now, check this out. If you're a builder, developer, entrepreneur, someone who is, reach out and let them know about this opportunity. This is on a 90-acre ski lake, Bell Lake in Land O'Lakes. Waterfront lots available. So you got 5 waterfront lots available on this beautiful property. And there's some amazing trees, just a gorgeous Tampa Bay, layout there. Attention builders and developers, lakefront lots, 360 feet of lake frontage on Bell Lake, which is a 90-acre ski lake. And the owner is motivated here. And you've got a great opportunity. So there's 3 other lots. So 8 total lots here. For just about $1 million is the going rate on this property. So great opportunity to build and develop, and people make a lot of money when they do that.
They're not making any more of that. I mean, look at that land. That is beautiful.
Yeah, waterfront, and if you look around the neighborhood, lots of nice houses, $1 million houses. I know just down the road from that, there's other Odessa areas where you've got a lot of retired Buccaneer football players, current Buccaneers living in Odessa on the lakes up there. So great opportunity to own real estate. Check out our website at PlatinumMVPTeam.com. All right, so let's go, James. Let's go back to these FTC complaints.
Before the break, we were talking a little bit about this particular one was Grand Bahamas Cruise Line. So a lot of folks were getting a call from someone offering them a great deal or a free cruise, and they keep you on the phone for a while and try to get as much information as they can from you. Well, in the most part, it's illegal to do that. This is the FTC out there trying to help people and protect them from this kind of thing. So they go after these folks. But as we mentioned, 2014 is when the first complaints were filed. It took till now to settle this thing and finally pin these guys down and say what you're doing is illegal, and you actually owe folks money because you've been wasting their time and you've been going against the law here. So they settled a $7.8 million judgment against them. Now, whether or not they can actually pay that or not, we don't know how it's going to work, but there's government agencies out there to protect you, and they're trying to put some teeth into this legislation to try to stop these things from happening to you. And to that end, in 2019, just the amount of fraud has gotten so large that the data released by the FTC shows that $232 million in refunds were paid out just in 2019 to folks out there who are victims.
Yeah, you know what's interesting? Like in real estate, whenever we pay our dues or our taxes, somewhere they're collected. There's something called it's something to do with the fund. There's a fund, fraud fund. The Real Estate Commission has this fund set up where whenever you're paying your annual dues, it goes to those types of things for that one or two rogue real estate agents that does bad things throughout the year. A very small percentage that I would say we're doing fraudulent type of things. But it's neat that the commission, and it's thoughtful, they have the foresight to at least have these situations where there's money there.
Well, we've got agencies out there doing their best, but again, it's a far-flung operation. There's lots more folks out there trying to do wrong than there are trying to do right. But we've got partners here on the program, and we've had Kevin Overstreet in here before. He's told you a little bit about some of the fraud he's seen in the real estate business, and it'll blow your mind what's going on out there in terms of folks putting a false title to a home. Isn't that what Kevin's
Fraud Shine State? Yeah, his book's called Fraud Shine State, and essentially title insurance is one of the it's one of the few insurances where you're insuring your past. If you think about our car insurance or health insurance, we're insuring something doesn't go wrong in the future, cancer or God forbid something along those lines. But with title insurance, once you close on the home, now there's really no oversight or no protection on that title. And when people get smart, they can look at obituaries, they can tell if it's an out-of-state owner, and when you get a couple of those compensating factors, then they can figure out who's a good target and who's not.
Yeah, I mean, just the amount of this stuff going on that the FTC has developed this Consumer Sentinel Network. They received 3.2 million reports in 2019, including 1.7 million fraud reports that were based in identity theft. So consumers reported losing more than $1.9 billion to fraud in 2019.
Wow.
And phone calls are the most common way in.
Yeah, exactly. So especially, I think a lot of the elder generations are looked at in this scenario. They're targeted rather, where they don't understand what they don't know, and they think there's some slick talking guy on the other end of the phone.
Oh, yeah.
And the other thing that happens is you get people calling up and saying, "Oh, we're raising money for retired veterans, or we're raising money." You really got to vet these people to find out for sure exactly who they are, what percentage of their money actually goes to the end recipients.
And it's difficult to get that information. So again, we have a network of folks here associated with the program. And I just want to go through some of the attorneys. We talked about Joe Pippin's a big one. Most folks out there aren't aware of the importance of having an estate plan and don't think about what could happen if some tragedy befell you at a young Kobe Bryant. Hopefully everything's in order. But could you imagine the size of his estate had he not had his documents in order? Now everyone comes out of the woodwork and makes a claim, and the family's tied up in courts for years and years. So Attorney Joe Pippin, a critical guy in terms of letting you think in the future. It's difficult to think about, but it's something you better have an estate plan.
Yeah, absolutely. So you got Joe Pippin with probate avoidance and estate planning, those types of scenarios. Think about Jason Coble. He comes on and talks about the personal injury law and even consumer, protecting consumers.
Exactly. Yeah, that's another guy that you're going to need on your side if you're the victim of an accident. You never know where you stand in terms of your legal representation. We have Frank Charles Miranda come on the show a lot with Lauren, Representative
Lauren
Frank Charles Miranda comes on, gives us all kinds of tips about things going on. Attorney Richard Alexander, as a teacher of law, is able to come in here and give us a little bit about new legislation that's coming down, different things that are changing that you may not be aware of. So we've got a network of folks out there. And you had mentioned Jason Coble, and he was a critical one for me because he was the first one that told me or brought to my attention the idea of PTSD for first responders. So there's police and fire and all kinds of folks out there that have to show up to scenes that are horrific in nature. And it's very easy to consider them just police and fire. They're not military. Why would they have PTSD? I mean, that's not something you associate with being a police officer. But when you break it down in terms of the psychology and the medicine behind it, those folks are as vulnerable as anybody.
Yeah, absolutely. And they're going at it every day, jumping into harm's way to protect us. That's why one of the things we'll just mention with the Consumer Quarterback Show and the Platinum MVP team at Keller Williams Realty, and I know our mortgage partner, Diane Vance, Fairway Independent Mortgage, what we do is we offer a quarter to a half a point discount, a rebate back to those first responders, those military, those active military, retired military, all the folks that are involved with that, teachers as well. We really want to help our teachers out because they're underpaid, as we all know, but especially with that PTSD, that's a good point. So Jason was talking about that.
In addition to that fleet of attorneys that we kind of get information from and always want to have on the program, we have some direct self-defense folks. Thomas King over at Florida Firearms Academy does a great job of educating us about gun law and gun safety, and offers so many courses out there that he's an educator. He's not trying to be someone in the gun advocacy space. He's trying to educate everyone about firearms.
Yeah, absolutely. And it's a self-defense thing too for us. In a lot of cases, people don't realize that there's more home invasions. There's more human trafficking. There's more of these things happening in Tampa Bay than you know of, than you really think of. I think Tampa Bay is a top 5 in the area of human trafficking. So we're really beating that drum on, hey, get a gun, protect your home, take the classes, learn how to properly hold, load, shoot, and aim a firearm.
More often than not, it's ignorance that's the issue, and not someone who understands the weapon and knows how to use it.
Yeah.
So, I mean, Thomas is a great resource in terms of that. And then Alex Lima with Black Belt Fitness. Alex talks a lot about understanding your environment, having a plan physically. Awareness is critical. But that idea that we're providing you with these folks out there that are reminding you of different ways that you can protect yourself and giving you some options and putting that thought in your head that you need a plan.
Yeah, absolutely. So we're going back to the attorneys. Joe Kearns, family law, longtime friend of the program, almost 5 or 6 years now. Joe's been with the show. So family law, if you got any of those divorce situations, Joe does a great job with that. And he really talks about, the more that we can focus on the kids, if there's kids involved, getting a plan in place. And it's not necessarily what people say, oh, I want that bulldog. They always kind of adopt that mentality. It's not, that's not the best way, guys.
No, you got to have a team approach. You're still parents here.
Yeah, absolutely. So yeah, good stuff here. When we come back, more from James DeGerome in studio. We got our feel-good story of the day coming up as well. So find out this story about a woman who's reunited with her lost dog.
Yeah, great story.
After seeing her on a beer can. Find out about that and more from our experts right here on the Consumer Quarterback Show. Check out consumerqb.com.
This is Chris Voss, former FBI lead hostage negotiator and owner of the Black Swan Group, and you're listening to Consumer Quarterback Show, hosted by my friend Brandon Rhymes.
To get in touch with Brandon, call 813-670-7372. Online at consumerqb.com.
All right, this week we're going to talk about something exciting as usual.
We always have something exciting.
Yes, we do.
At least it's exciting to us.
But this is a question that comes up.
TV, hey, it is Friday night. We're not here. Yes, we pre-recorded once again because Weaving TV is working over in Tampa with D'Angelo Star.
The 62 who knew. I almost said Professional Mortgage Alliance, Joe's Bar and Grill. But actually, it's our 39th week. 62 who knew.
We're at the wonderful steampunk event at the Verizon Event Center here in 2019. I think it's still August, right? Yeah. Woo! Can't remember now. Ask me about
Yes. To be able to help businesses to do that part of it. But it's just been a couple years.
Well, and I've taken the business card files from our business cards.
Entrepreneurs and professionals of Tampa Bay, welcome to your hour for getting the information, the tools, and the connections
Ian
for help.
Beckles on Radio Influence.
Or you say left hand white, and then they catch the left hand white. What it does, it helps you quick with hand-eye coordination. Yeah.
Well, that's kind
As your super connector, we want to introduce you to our 50-plus show partners. We got over 80 categories of expert contributor advice here on the Consumer Quarterback Show, and we want to.
That's where we disagree, but that's okay.
I said nonviolent.
That's okay.
Because, we're one of the only states that don't give them back the right. Got Jamie Limbaugh. He is from the Next Step image. I love that movie because you were telling me earlier.
For the type of republic we actually are is actually very correct. Yet politicians and regular people use these words interchangeably, even though technically they are very different.
If you're an overdoer, overachiever, people pleaser, we tend to neglect ourselves. And even as Sisters Connected here, with Women Unscripted, I know.
You're listening to The Consumer Quarterback, Brandon Rhymes, online at consumerqb.com. Brandon is Tampa Bay's #1 consumer advocate for real estate and financial advice. Call Brandon today at 813-670-7372.
All right, welcome back. Thanks for sticking with us. Brandon Rhymes here, Consumer Quarterback Show, powered by the Platinum MVP team. Keller Williams Realty, helping you win in any real estate market as well, buying, selling, or investing. We would love to talk to you and help you win. Offer our veteran discounts as well, military, first responders. We got those discounts out there for teachers as well. So if you're in that case, reach out. We'd love to talk to you. 813-670-7372 is our consumer advocate hotline number. 813-670-7372.
You used to call me on my cell phone.
You can save that line or text it into your phone. We'll be right here to help you if you're looking at those types of opportunities. All right, we got a couple of hot opportunities here in Tampa Bay. 4207 South Del Mabry Highway, right here in Tampa. Unit number 1203, 3-bedroom, 2-bath property right here in South Tampa with beautiful access, of course, to the bay and a lot of waterways as well right here in Tampa Bay. Shopping right across the street. 4207 South Del Mabry is the Grand Key Condominium Association. Great opportunity to own. Got a beautiful pool, clubhouse right there as well. We've got property at 2689 Sable Springs, unit number 105. This is Sable Springs Circle, close to the mall right there in Clearwater, the Clearwater Mall. Sable Springs, this is a 2-bedroom, 2-bath condo, ground floor unit, and you've got water views as well. Three sides of the home, you have views on it as well. That's very rare to find in a condo. So 2689 Sable Springs. Check out PlatinumMVPTeam.com.
Somewhere sunny and 75.
Every day we're going to tell you something positive in our feel-good story of the day.
Tell me something good.
So if you've ever lost your dog, that kind of sinking feeling you get in your stomach.
Your kids are devastated.
Yeah. It's like the dog's gone. Where did he go? Where it happened? That happened to me a couple weeks ago, and I was like, oh no. So here's a woman who's reunited with her lost dog after seeing her on a beer can. So a woman in Minnesota has been reunited with her lost dog after she saw a photo of the pup on a beer can. Motorworks Brewing in Bradenton recently teamed up with Manatee County Animal Services to help spread the word about adoptable dogs. One of the dogs pictured on a beer can, Day Day, is going to her forever home, but she wasn't adopted. When Day Day came through the doors at Manatee Animal Services, she had microchip registered to Monica Mathis, and her contact information was out of date. Despite their best effort, shelter employees could not locate Day Day's family. Then last week, Mathis wrote on Facebook, saw her dog she lost 3 years ago featured on a beer can. I was scrolling pretty much through Facebook, and I saw Mathis told Fox, and I was like, oh my gosh, that's my dog. Day Day went missing in Iowa when they lived in Iowa. I really thought she was gone. I never thought I'd see her again, said Mathis. I had a doubt. I was like, oh my gosh, it looks like it's her, but it really is her. Thanks to everyone involved. We have our family member home again.
Amazing story, not just because of the distance, of course, that was covered. The dog was different states, and these folks, again, the power of the internet, right?
Crazy.
So, of course, the good folks at the brewery putting shelter dogs on their beer makes sense. Everyone loves dogs and everyone loves beer. And then they're reunited. This is what blew my mind. Is that pet owner went to the trouble of having a chip inserted, but you've got to update that information because if you move, they find the chip. They say, oh, this dog belongs to XYZ. But if they call and the number's disconnected, what's the next step? They don't have a way to get back to you.
Yeah, that's a big challenge right there. It's one more thing to try to remember as well. And in this busy pace that we live. This segment is brought to you by Infinity Medical Institute as well. Big shout out to Kat and Michael Montemuro over at Infinity Medical Institute right here in Tampa Bay. They are online at infinitymedicalinstitute.com, 1715 Northwest Shore Boulevard, suite number 100, right here in Tampa, right down the road from Salem Media Group, where we are broadcasting live from the Consumer Quarterback Show. Over 10 years in business as well, and they've successfully treated over 40,000 patients, and they are the leading experts in bio-natural hormone replacement therapy right here in Tampa Bay. Infinity Medical Institute's exclusive hormone therapy options are not only the most effective in our field, but they cannot be duplicated anywhere else. Pellet hormone therapy, and here's some of the benefits. We have low T therapy, weight loss plans, cosmetic services such as Botox, improved sexual wellness, and increased energy. And they also are adding stem cells to the mix. Check out our friends at Infinity Medical Institute. Let them know the Real Estate Quarterback sent you. Take them up on special offers and incentives just by mentioning that you're a fan of the Consumer Quarterback Show. All right, James DeGerome here in the house, Consumer Quarterback Show.
Thanks so much for having me on. I had a specific instance. Today we've been talking a little bit about the consumer advocacy approach of the program and going through some of the great folks that we're partnered with that provide information and help you out there live a better life. I had a unique situation specific to myself. I had a phone call, like you said. I'm a producer of the show, just like you in the real estate business. The phone rings off the hook and you can't afford to miss a call.
Yep.
So I grabbed the call and it's screaming. Someone's screaming at me in Spanish for about 3 or 4 seconds. Click, they hang up. And then my phone receives about 10 text messages in a row. Bang, 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 bang. All very graphic video and picture images of horrific crime scenes.
I saw that picture. I was like, wow.
Decapitation, mutilated bodies, just horrific stuff. And then a text message comes to you specifically with your name on it. It says, hello, James. They introduce themselves by their name as well. They say they're with a particular cartel and they've targeted me for a fine or a fee they're going to assess on me. They know where I live and they have personal information they've gleaned from the internet. Again, we talked a little bit about how simple it is to get someone's phone number. That gives you their name.
Yep.
That gives you their address. And now using Google Maps, they then say, hey, we know where you live.
Yep.
We have a picture. They send you a picture of your front door. So now we're threatening to hurt you.
Yep.
We're telling you that if you contact authorities or mention this to anyone or change your phone number, we're going to do bodily harm to your family. And of course, we know who you are, where you live, and we have your phone.
Wow.
So it's very personal and it's very intimidating.
Yes.
You don't really know how to process that. Again, you're an adult. You've been through all these situations. Everyone tells you, hey, beware of scams and phishing operations. Until it hits home like that, right in your face with your kids and your personal information, it'll surprise you and it'll make you think twice.
Yeah, that's another reason why you want to have your concealed permit carry right there on you. You want to have that on you and be ready to pull it. That's the thing. Just be ready to be trained to use that gun if you have to.
I feel like there's a whole burgeoning field of cybersecurity. We're all familiar with the computer expert that can help us with our server and get our computer back online when we have issues. I want a cyber police officer. I want someone that can assess my situation, my internet situation. I guess everything, my phone, my computer, any way that the world can get to me.
Yes.
I want them to be able to give me an assessment and say, here's where you're vulnerable. Here's the kind of thing that you could receive. So be prepared and don't allow this to invade your privacy the way it does, because I promise you won't sleep. You get a death threat like that, you won't sleep.
So we're looking for specifically that type of a person. Anybody in our listening audience, if you know of someone who's kind of that IT type of protection company, computer repair type person that can help set up the firewalls, your virtual private networks, we're looking for that type of a person for the Consumer Quarterback Show as an expert contributor. Also looking for a pool company. I would love to do about, with the summer swim season coming up and pool safety. I think that would be an awesome area to explore and talk about on the Consumer Quarterback Show.
I agree. State of Florida, I just think you got to have a pool, period.
Number of drowning deaths too, so it kind of plays into our consumer advocate approach. A dentist would be a good idea as well. Somebody that's a dentist. We'd love to talk about some of those, because you hear of, I've had a client in the past that called back as like, how's the husband doing? He passed away. He wasn't taking care of his teeth.
Yeah, you don't realize how important that is.
It really is.
I had a friend with periodontal issues, and it was a process of years.
Yeah, unbelievable.
Yeah.
in the real estate space too, termite and pest control company, and also a interior designer and home stager. So, looking to our listening audience, our viewers out there for those types of referrals, reach out to our hotline, 813-670-7372. Also on the website, 813-670-7372, consumerqb.com, information there as well. So let's talk about too, like some of the other partners like Snoop Dogg, Snoop Inspection. Hasn't been on the show in a long time. Does a great job in the home inspection space.
Everyone out there thinks of getting a home inspection when you're involved in a transaction. We're going to sell a house, we're going to buy a house, we need Jay. And certainly that's the bread and butter. What about the status of your house as is? What if you're just somebody who's lived in a house for 5 or 6 years and you want somebody to take a look? You need somebody with knowledge who can walk your roof, who can look at everything, check your appliances, check everything, and say, hey, this is headed for this. So you get a little bit of an advance warning before something goes south on you.
Yeah, and if you get a roof inspection, a 4-point roof inspection, or a wind mitigation, they call it, that wind mitigation could help you save you some insurance money as well. So we think about Doug Levi, Strategic Insurance. We're thinking about Fred Mute, Outdoor, Tampa Screens and Aluminum. Think about Fred DeFelice as well, Water Science.
I got to call Fred. I got a big project for Fred. He takes care of everything, in terms of water. So where I got issues with water pressure, I got issues with water quality, and certainly his background, his many, many years as a plumber and his knowledge in the water space, I'm looking forward to getting him out. He's one of the few guys that will be, you can trust Fred. So when someone tells you, hey, it's going to be a few $1,000s to repipe your entire house, have Fred come out. And he'll look at it and he'll tell you the real deal.
Fred DeFelice, waterscience.us. Suncoast Roofing also does those free roofing inspections. Solar company, 3D Solar, does a great job if you want to add solar onto your property.
I think solar is one that's everyone in Florida pretty soon is going to be thinking about. And in the next 5 years, I imagine you're going to inquire to find out if it's right for you. Make sure that the company you're with has the roots and the longevity to be there, because you're talking about a 30-year operation.
And that one just went out of business right over there in Palm Harbor.
A bunch of folks get left hanging, they call, and there's no one to answer the phone.
That's right. And lastly as well, Jake Alexander hasn't been on the show, but tax season is here. Jake Alexander Financial is highly recommended
and
as
Jake
well.
Will not be on the show because he's buried. This time of year, man, you can barely get him. He's got more stuff going on, but you need to have an ally in that space, boy. You want somebody that can tell you the truth.
That's right. All right. Hey, another great show. Thanks a lot, James, for coming in. Thanks to our team behind the scenes, putting the show together. We want you to please go out there and consider committing a random act of kindness. Pack up some food or clothing, hand it to that person that you see in need. Donate some time, donate some blood, swing a hammer for Habitat for Humanity. Lots of ways that you can be a force for good in the community. And we'll see you next time right here on the Consumer Quarterback Show, consumerqb.com.
You've been listening to The Consumer Quarterback, Brandon Rhymes. Whether it's real estate, consumer, or financial advice, let Brandon call your next play. Contact Brandon Rhymes at 813-670-7372. That's 813-670-7372. Online at consumerqb.com. And join us next time for the Consumer Quarterback Show.